Hi crafters, thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to be showing you the card that I created for Crafty Owl's birthday. And if you don't know Crafty Owl, she loves rainbows. But all of you who know Crafty Owl knows this already. So I decided to focus on a rainbow card for her. So let's just pull the card in and I'll kind of tell you how I designed it. But first off, I want to show you the card that inspired me to create the card that I created. Now, of course, this card, I don't have the supplies and stuff. I just used it as my inspiration piece. I had to look for flowers and an embossing folder and all that stuff, a sentiment from my stash, excuse me, to create the card that I created for her. So let's pull in the card and I'll show you the products that I use, the colors that I use, and all that. Because it was I had to find color combinations and it took me a little bit, so I thought I would share it with you all. So then I did all the hard work, and if you ever wanted to recreate this card again, you could. And not, if you wanted to use the exact colors I am using, then you'll have them already figured out for you. Okay, so here is my card. And so the card in the inspiration piece didn't have this black there, but I figured since I wanted my sentiment to be in black, I wanted to pull that in. So I did do a matting of black on my card. And then my embossing on this, I pulled in this embossing folder, and it's an old retired one, but I thought that would be cute because the flowers look similar to the ones in this embossing folder. So that's what I did. My sentiment, because I wanted it to be die cut out and I didn't want a fussy cut around it, I pulled in the charming sentiments, because I love this, wishing you the happiest of birthdays, and what goes inside is because you totally deserve it. And what I like about this is it has all the dies that you can use to cut out all these sentiments. So that's the stamp set that I used for my sentiment. And then I needed to, well, first of all, I had to go out and search for something that said what was the order of the rainbow. And it said red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet is what I found. And I was like, what is indigo? So I didn't know. So I went ahead and I liked the colors that I picked for my rainbow of flowers. So I'll show you the combination. What I did was I stamped the back flower with a darker color and then the front one with a lighter color of that color family. And I'm using, so what I had to do, so I'm using this for the back flower. So what I had to do was I had to stamp all my darker colors in this, and then I pulled in the punch that comes with this bundle, and I went ahead and punched that out. Now, I didn't need the other two flowers, so I kind of just set them aside, but then you'll see later how I use some of them. And then here are the the ones that were left over, because I didn't use this flower on this card at all. So that's what I used for the bottom layer of all my flowers. And then for the top layer, I'm using this one right here that comes from the Petite Petals, and it was bundled with this punch. So that's what I'm using for the top flowers. Now let me show you the colors the combinations that I used. So for the red, I did the bottom flower in cherry cobbler, and then the top flower in real red. Then for the orange, I did pumpkin pie for the dark and peekaboo peach for the lighter flower on top. This is retired, the peekaboo peach. And then for the yellow, I did crushed curry for the dark, and I was gonna do Daffodil Delight for the lighter color, but here was the thing. When I laid it on top, this is the Daffodil Delight. When I laid it on top, I kind of felt like it, well, in the camera it doesn't look bad, but I just felt like it looked a lot like the crushed curry. So I ended up pulling in lemon lolly and pineapple punch just to see what the difference was. And so this was the pineapple punch, and I really ended up liking the pineapple punch that I used for the top of that. So I had to do a little playing around with the yellows there. So that's the colors for that. And then for the green, I did garden green for the dark and granny apple green for the light. And then the blues, I did blueberry bushel for the dark and the azure afternoon for the light. Then this indigo, which I was like, I don't know what that is. It's kind of, I guess, in between blues and purples, I guess. So I pulled in starry sky for the dark and orchid oasis for the light flower. And then last for my violet is what they said color on the rainbow. I'm doing gorgeous grape for the dark and highland heather for the light flower. And then I wanted some bling because on the original card that I was inspired by, it had some bling in the flowers. It had 3 of them, but my flowers are different shapes, so I ended up just putting some bling in the middle. Now I wanted to match the colors again, so I pulled in my pearls, and these come in different sizes, and these are big. I didn't use this size. I think I was using this size right here. And these are the ones that are all glued together, so I had to separate them. But then I wanted to color them, so I went on a hunt for my alcohol markers to see which colors I wanted to use for coloring my pearls. So what I ended up picking was dark cherry cobbler for the red, dark pumpkin pie for the orange, and then dark daffodil delight for the yellow, and then dark call me clover, which was a retired one, but because we didn't have garden green and we didn't have granny apple green, so I ended up doing that. And then the dark blueberry bushel for my blue, and then dark starry sky for my indigo flower, and then dark highland heather. I wanted the center to be for this flower darker, but I couldn't find anything that I had that would work. So I just did the dark highland heather, which was, since I did highland heather for this flower, but I think it came out cute. I kind of went over it twice hoping that it would get darker, but you know, it worked out good for me. So I think it's such a cute card. And then I had those flowers left over, right? And I want, how am I going to decorate the inside? And what I was going to do was I was going to just stamp the smaller flowers along the bottom. And then I remembered I have the other little pieces that I punched out that I'm not using. And I was going to use these, but then I was going to have to they were going to have to go on top of each other on some of them because they were a little too big for the bottom. But I used the other ones and I just adhered them to this piece of basic white strip there. And then I like to add another layer of the white on the inside. Even though my card's white, I just like that. And so I stamped that again in the tuxedo black. That's what I did for my sentiment on the inside and on the front. So there is my card, my birthday card for Crafty Owl. I hope she enjoys it since she loves rainbows. And I hope you guys enjoyed this card and this video. And if you did, you can show me your joy by giving it a thumbs up. Okay, well, until my next video, have fun crafting, everyone. And remember, choose joy, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.